Hi, everybody. This is John Amplis, George Romero actor. You may know who I am. Martin and Creepshow and Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead and probably something else, Night Riders. Yep, that's me. And you are listening to Without Your Head.
All right, and we're back here once again at Without Your Head. And we're joined by, she's actually missing a great meal right now to talk to us. We're feeling pretty bad. But we have Monica Demes on the line, writer-director of Lilith's Awakening.
Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you.
Yeah, great to have you.
Now, you just showed the movie tonight?
No, I showed the movie on Saturday 11th, and actually I'm in Fairfield, and I got an airplane, and I'm in Fairfield, Iowa, where I shot the film.
Oh.
So how did the premiere go Saturday?
I arrived 2 hours ago here.
Okay.
Wow.
So how did the premiere go on Saturday?
It was great. We had this amazing party before where they served red drinks to everybody, so we drank a lot.
Nice.
It was pretty fun. There was a soprano singing Ave Maria from Bach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was all bloody. And,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
tremendous.
It got super beautiful, and then we all went to the screening. The only thing is that the screening started around 1 a.m.
Jeez.
So it was pretty late, I must say. Like in the end, in the Q&A, after the film was over, like 2:30 in the morning, people were really like zombies in the end. Like.
Yeah, you're not allowed to fall asleep at your own premiere. You can't do that.
Oh, God, it was super late, but it was amazing. It was amazing to premiere at the Chinese. It was amazing to be there with these people. It was amazing, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I think we all absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great to hear it.
And real quick, for people who aren't aware of it yet, could you give them like a brief idea of what the movie's about?
The film is about a repressed woman who works in a gas station. She connects with her dark side and she experiences her wildest fantasies.
They're very dark.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah.
But it's fun.
It is. For me, it is, and for Lucy, I think it's fun as well. I don't know if Jonathan would say the same.
No.
Yeah, we don't care about the rest of them, though. We just care about Lucy.
What was the inspiration for the character, for the story?
I was here in Fairfield, in this little town. It was winter, and I was meditating a lot to find the story. And I came to the scene, one of the scenes of the film, where Art is driving his car, and he sees this beautiful woman, mysterious, walking on the street. He gives her a ride, and he takes her to a dark place, and he tries to rape her. Mm-hmm. And he ends up in a bad situation after he does that. And after I wrote the scene, it was through intuition a little bit. So after I wrote the scene, I asked myself, what's the scene about and why did I write that scene? And then I realized I was fed up with seeing films, especially horror films where women are victims.
Yeah.
So I started to think, what if something really bad happens to the rapist instead? So with that seed, the whole screenplay of Lilith's Awakening was written. And as I was in Iowa and the winter was really intense, the distances were far, the places were empty, you have a lot of churches here. It was the perfect place to do a vampire story, you know? All the times from Queen Victoria were still a little bit alive here. So it was, I thought it was a good idea to bring it back with a kind of a feminist point of view.
But it's not a beat you over the head feminist movie. It's just a good story that, you know, it's just... It's an amazing story with female empowerment, but it's never feels like preachy.
Yes, more like that, yes.
Yeah. But I know you don't have a long time, and I really did want to say that there's something that I really noticed that's wonderful in the film is the silences of the characters.
Mhm.
Where you have these spaces where they're not saying anything, but you can see and use your intuition to know exactly where they're at, and they play the emotions so well. And I just love that. It's something a lot of films now, even some independent movies, if it's not constant visually stunning action, it's talking. And this is, you've got some shots that are beautiful, but they're not necessarily over the top. And it's wonderful. It lets you think.
What do I think?
Those scenes let the audience think about what's happening, and it's not just pushed. It's implied what's going on, and you can just sit there and imagine what's happening with each character. Like the car scene is very, it's just these two people looking at each other, and it's very, it's so dramatic, and you're just, what's going to happen? And she's so intense, and you know that something's going to happen. It's wonderful.
Thank you. I'm glad it worked. Yeah, it was a lot of work.
What was it? What was it? Always the decision to make the movie in black and white?
Yeah, I'm actually with the DP by my side. Would you like to hear what he says about that? It's Gregor Korzal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Gregor, please talk back. Right.
Hello, this is Gregor Korzal speaking. I'm the DP of Lilith Awakening.
That's good to hear from you. So yeah, we just asked her about the decision to film the movie in black and white.
Well, the movie Lilith Awakening is a kind of a dream, but there are also some colors in the movie. So we can't be quite sure what's real, what's not real, what's in her mind, and what's in the mind of the people who are watching this movie. But horror and a story like it's Lilith's Awakening, it was just a call, I think from the very beginning. Let's just keep these lights.
And when you talk about the use of color, I think the color not only is, is it the bloods and stuff, but it seems like the colors used to signify like a life, I think, in the movie.
Exactly that. That was the point. Yeah. That's it. Some things in the movies are very simple, and that's it.
Let me tell him something about the black and white.
Okay.
Also, I want to say, I was with Gregor 3 months looking Fairfield with my iPhone and seeing everything in black and white before we started shooting. I always knew the film was going to be in black and white because black and white is a declaration of intentions of the filmmaker. When you see a film in black and white, that's not reality. Everything is going to happen there. It's a fairy tale. It's a fantasy. So I knew since the beginning that it had to be like that. Also, it gives the film a sense of timeless. Although we know it now, we see that old gas station in the middle of nowhere, and the black and white gives it to that gas station a sense of being lost in time and space, because that's exactly how Lucy, the protagonist, feels inside. She's lost in time and space, wasting her time and wasting her life in the middle of nowhere. So it had to be in black and white.
Also, when the DP had mentioned the movie feeling like a dream, and I thought there was a particular scene near the end. I don't want to give the movie away, but it really feels like a dream because not only the pacing of the movie, but there's kind of like a soft fuzziness in the scene, and then it quickly turns to like it's very sharp instead of like and it's almost like it breaks from the dream and now you're in reality. And I thought that was a really powerful moment in the movie.
Thank you. Also, if you realize, the whole film is from Lucy's perspective. So I think that allows a lot of art house, It allows us to play a lot with what's going on in her mind about the world that surrounds her.
I have a question about the program. How did you decide to choose this David Lynch Master's program, and what kind of impact did it have on your filmmaking?
In my case, I I was sent a link to a competition of short films. The short films could only have until 5 minutes. And I had a little short of 4 minutes called Halloween. It's
Well, it's a little animated one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sent that short film, and they sent it to David Lynch. He liked it, and they gave me an award, an economical award, financial award to shoot a project in Iowa. And that's how I decided to come here. I had started my company in Brazil. We were shooting a documentary at the time about spiritual healing. It was a documentary between Spain and Brazil, and I waited a little bit, like 6 months, until we could finish the project, and then I came to Fairfield.
Wow.
Yep. Are you
the impact it has in my filmmaking? The second question, the impact it has in my filmmaking. I think it was the first time I was using transcendental meditation to create, and it allowed me in the screenplay to be very free. More free than ever, because instead of starting by reason, which was the natural process, like, for example, you're doing a film about ambition. No, you choose a theme, ambition, and then you say everything that's going to be good about ambition and everything that's going to be bad, and the character is going to make a decision at some point. Usually you build it like that. And that in this case, using transcendental meditation, I was waiting until a scene or an image to come to my mind, and after I wrote that scene, I would ask myself, what's the scene about? So for me, it worked like a kind of a way to connect with the place that I was, and from a freer way to write. Was I clear?
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like that's an art experience when you just have whatever's going on in your mind for your imagination, run with it, and then reflect on it. I think I draw and do different kinds of art, and that's always the best. Like, I'll do projects for people and things like that, but when stuff just comes out of my brain and then I can reflect on it, that's the stuff that's really meaningful to me.
Yeah, and isn't it amazing that somehow it comes from, I think you connect with something that is around in the universe. Somehow, when you expose yourself to meditation, you're connecting to a point where it's not reason and it's not reality and it's just darkness. And from that darkness, something comes, right? And you bring it to this world. And that's the magic of using transcendental meditation, in my opinion.
No, will you use that same technique in your future projects?
Hi there, this is Barbie Wild, female Cenobite from Hellraiser 2 and author of The Venus Complex. You're listening to WithoutYourHead.com.
Yeah.
So I think we left off at your future use of transcendental meditation in your work.
Yeah, I'm working on a new project now, a thriller about a girl who is in a music conservatory, and she's obsessed with another girl there. And there is a sound hunting her. And the more the sound evolves in her head, the more she connects with a murder that happened in the past.
Were you always a vampire fan? Because there's a lot of, callbacks to like the classic vampire movies, like the places called Helsing and Renfield. Yeah, and I even thought there's a really cool shot of Lilith that really reminds me of kind of the classic Bela Lugosi like pose where she's got her hands out. And
yeah, since I was a little girl, I used to lock myself with my grandmother in a room watching horror films, and my favorite were vampire films. Of course, my parents wouldn't allow it because I was like 3 years old, but my grandma wouldn't allow me anything. And I grew up with those images in my head. And when you are a little girl, you don't understand what's going on there. You know that the vampire cannot bite you, because if they bite you, you will never see your family again. And you don't want to waste your mom or your dad when you are like 3 or 5. Then as you grow up and you understand that what the director really tells the actors is that when the vampire bites you, you pretend you have an orgasm. then you understand why it looked so good when they were beaten. Although you didn't, right? You didn't know what the hell was going on. And it always fascinated me that the moment of the bite, that they would give their life away because of that moment of eternal pleasure. And then from that day on, the whole life they have would change.
Mm-hmm. So what were some of your favorite vampire movies?
My favorite vampire movie is called Nadia. It's David Lynch was the executive producer, and it was from a director from New York that only directed this film. It's a black and white film, as I don't know if you guys seen it.
No. How do you spell this?
Nadia is Nadja.
Well, I'm going to seek it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The photography is amazing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm seeing images from it on the Google search, and it looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I must say I love The Hunger as well, although it's very from the 90s.
Mm-hmm. I love that. The David Bowie one?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So beautiful. It's like pure music.
Yeah, it's got Peter Murphy in the beginning, so how can you go wrong? I do love that movie. It's such a unique vampire story. It's so different. The ending is so intense and incredible. You know, it's like a story of, how do you put it?
I think for me, they make a parallel of how passion works in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Passion is the vampire. Like you want to, when you are, because there is a difference between loving someone and being in love with someone.
Yeah.
I think when you are in love, you're more selfish. Like you want that person just for you, and you want to put her in a place that's untouchable, just like Catherine Deneuve does, no? And the thing about her is that she goes collecting, no? The lover.
What was how much did David Lynch? They say he mentored you stuff, but how much impact did he have in the actual movie?
He had great impact in the story itself, but he didn't participate in anything of the production of the film. It was all towards the story. Yeah. I was blocked in a point when I was writing the story, and I started writing a story and I got blocked. I started writing a second version and I got blocked again, and I started writing a third story that I thought it was different from the second and the first. And it was the same story again, but with different characters. So I was always getting stuck on the same point. And I took some advice with him. And that was the point when he said, look, imagination doesn't exist. You're connecting with something in the universe, an idea. And it's normal that it comes back again and again. And you're just looking for the right characters for the story to manifest itself in real life. But why are you getting stuck? And then he said, you're lying. Somewhere in the story, you're lying. And then I went back home and I was thinking, where the hell am I lying? Why am I doing this? And then I realized that I was trying to do a story with a male protagonist. So my story didn't have any sense. Because it was supposed to be a woman's story. And in the moment that I changed to Lucy, to be the protagonist, the woman, everything changed and made sense.
Wow. So is this kind of like divine inspiration? Like if you think about great artists over time, that they're just channeling whatever it is that exists out there. Is that the kind of idea?
I think so. No, he talked in a very ethereal way, but I think that's what he means. But it's not only channeling, because if it was only channeling, you wouldn't use your own brain to find the right characters. It's like you connect with the idea, and then you have to refine it using your mind to bring it to the world through your own knowledge, through your own perspective. And
so it's like communicating with an animal, but you're communicating with the universe, where there's two different ways of thinking, but you understand each other. Does that make sense?
I think you're kind of right, because haven't you had the impression that some films are produced and they are very close to each other and they are very similar, and they're like 1 year of difference, 6 months, and they were produced at the same time. For me, it's like the creator is connected with the same idea in different parts of the world, and they do completely different things in the end, but the idea is the same.
Definitely, yeah.
Did he get a chance to see the finished movie, and did he tell you what he thought of it?
He never saw the film, and I would love that he would see the film, but we don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, I hope that he does. So I know you've got the dinner going on here. How can people find out about Lilith's Awakening? How can they see it right now? Will it eventually be on DVD?
Lilith's Awakening will come back in festivals in September and October, probably in Australia and Canada, and we are looking for distribution now. So it will probably come and be available next year. Only we have to finish the circuit of festivals first.
Yeah. Well, now, was the first airing nerve-wracking for you at all? To watch your movie with a crowd of people.
Actually, we had done a private screening here in Fairfield, only for the people who worked in the film and people who landed her houses or people we rented the gas station, and we had a full packed theater, so we could perceive a little bit of the reactions before the official world premiere, and it was great. It was great to be able to show it back to the people what they gave. It was a great feeling.
Mm-hmm. And so far, what's the feedback for the movie been?
It's like this. I have 5 amazing reviews about the film. I have like 30 reviews that say very good stuff about the film, and they said, but there is one thing that I don't like. And I have 2 bad reviews that people that hated the film.
Wow.
Because they say it's not reality.
Oh, come on.
Reality doesn't interest me, I'm not a realistic director, but that's just not their kind of film.
Yeah. Well, that's not fair because, like, Neil and I do reviews, and Troy does too, but I know when something is something I just don't like. And I might say, these are the things I don't like. But it's not my kind of movie, so it's almost invalid for me to review it for an audience that I know would really enjoy it. It's just not for me. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's a difference between taste and.
There is a making of The Shining that I love with Kubrick, and there is a scene in this making of where Jack Nicholson is like, "But Kubrick, this is not how I would do it in real life. Reality is not like this." And then Kubrick gave the perfect answer. He said, reality is not art. Art goes beyond reality. And since that, I feel free to do whatever I want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot more fun to not feel limited by those kinds of things. It's the same, when, like I was saying earlier, I do paintings and drawings and stuff, and you just let it happen. It's just so much more fulfilling and enjoyable.
But I must say, I stay with the good stuff, The good reviews were amazing and beyond my expectations. I really loved it. And I have to thank all these people who wrote it. Yeah. It's so good when you expose yourself, because there is a big part of you that you're revealing to the world when you make a work that comes from your soul and your heart. Because it could be like a package, a very Hollywoodian film, and it could have nothing to do with you. But when you really expose yourself, of course there are going to be people who are going to hate, and there's going to be people who are going to adore it. But the good thing is that you did it. You had the thrill to go beyond everything and expose yourself, and that's it. And for that, I'm so thankful.
What a great perspective.
Yeah. We want to let you get back to your dinner here before it gets cold. But it's been a great time talking to you.
Hey guys, thank you so much. You guys were great. Thank you so much for this video.
Thank you very much. And
we look great to have you.
And definitely look forward to your future projects.
Yeah, come back and talk about them anytime.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Take
Have
care.
a great night. Bye-bye, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Jonathan Stark, and you are listening to Without Your Head.